Welcome to Conservative Viewpoint, where the truth always matters. Your hosts are Charlie the Country Conservative and Brendan Statler from The Brendan Statler Show. Now on with the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Conservative Viewpoint. Where we'll dive deep into the currents of American politics. I'm your host, Charlie, the Country Conservative.
And I'm Brendan Statler of The Brendan Statler Show.
Today we got a lineup for you that will make the Beltway buzz. Buckle up because we're about to dissect the latest headlines with surgical precision. Joe Biden administration has been grappling with an unprecedented surge of migrants, illegal criminals, at the U.S. border. There have been almost 15 million illegal criminals that have illegally crossed in the United States under Joe Biden's watch. That's more than an individual population of 36 states now. Whether you see this a crisis or a challenge depends on your political lens. But one thing is for sure, the border is hotter than a Texas summer. Now, we also got New York Governor Kathy Hochul recently stirred the pot with a comment that had the Bronx residents raising their eyebrows. Now, I'm not going to give away what she said, but we're going to get into this later on. But this is going to really get you if you haven't even seen this yet. But it's a real head scratcher. But before we sharpen our pitchforks, let's remember the access to technology matters. It's not about the world of computers. It's about leveling the playing field for all communities. And we got Nancy Pelosi, the seasoned political maestro, should be known to throw a little shade like a pro. But here's the twist. She's giving a nod to a Republican speaker, Mike Johnson, and she's agreeing with him and trying to protect him. Yes, you heard me right. Pelosi respects Johnson's integrity, even if she disagrees with his politics. And she hopes, I'm hoping she's not just a marionette, she said she hopes that Mike Johnson's not just a marionette dancing in Trump's tune. So meanwhile, former Speaker Kevin McCarthy might have a bruised ego because Pelosi called him a moron. Well, she wasn't wrong in that. So, my friends, this politics is like a high-stake chess match. So grab your popcorn and a nice cold drink because we're diving into the political mosh pit. Stick around and remember, the arena of ideas, there's no safe spaces, except for you liberal, and it's called a basement. This is the Conservative Viewpoint where the truth always matters. Now, on with the show. Now, good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Conservative Viewpoint. I hope you guys have had a great Wednesday. Like always, I'm going to ask you guys to check out our other pages. Mine is the Country Conservative, and Brendan's is the Brendan Statler Show. Check out our videos, share them with your friends, family, and liberal idiot friends, because here on the Conservative Viewpoint, we care about all people and getting the truth out to them. Even share our live streams because they'll get more truth out of our live stream because we get more information out to you guys. Whatever it takes to get the truth out to people because November 5th election is sneaking up on us so quick, and we have to wake people up and get them out to vote Republican.
Absolutely.
And don't forget that I leave a link, and I'll put it on here as soon as I'm done here, in all the chats that I can get to, that if you want to come live on our show and ask a question, please click on that link. Don't be shy. Took everything we could to start this live stream, so come join us and be embarrassed with us. So we have no problem with it, because here in the Conservative Viewpoint, we care what you have to say. Unlike the lame news media, they just want to hear what they want you to hear what they have to say, and that's all there is to it. So let's get this party started. What's going on today, Brendan?
Independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on Tuesday called on President Trump to debate him at the Libertarian Party's convention later this month, calling the event, quote, a perfect neutral territory for them to face each other. Robert Kennedy said on an X post, I'd like to make you an offer. We're both going to be speaking at the upcoming Libertarian Convention on May 24th and 25th. It's perfect neutral territory for you and me to have a debate where you can defend your record for your wavering supporters. Let's meet in a couple of weeks and show the American people that at least two of the major candidates aren't afraid to debate each other. Kennedy, at one point in his campaign for the White House, considered joining the Libertarian Party after dropping out of the race as a Democrat, and both have been invited to speak at the party's convention. The Libertarian Party also invited Joe Biden to speak, but he declined to take the stage. Now, I think this would be a great opportunity for President Trump to win over independent voters because, as I mentioned before, Robert Kennedy is doing pretty well with independent voters, and Trump is going to have to grab some of those voters away from Kennedy. And this is a perfect opportunity to do it, especially since Joe Biden, no surprise to anybody that pays attention to politics, declined to debate RFK at the Libertarian Convention. I think this would be a great opportunity for Trump. I think he can really take control of the room as he's done many times throughout his political career, his short political career at that. And I think he could pull a lot of those voters that may be considering voting for Kennedy onto his side. I would take advantage of the opportunity if I were him.
Yeah, not that it's going to hurt Trump any if he doesn't do it,
so.
Because
No,
the only thing RFK is going to do is pull more voters from Biden than he is going to be Trump. So it's either
right,
here or there.
Right. Yeah, I think there's definitely a certain advantage to showing up because, like I said, Joe Biden, like I said, no surprise to anyone else, refused to do it. I think it would say a lot about Trump. I mean, he's already going to speak there. I think it would. I think it would say a lot about Trump if he actually took Kennedy up on this offer and had a debate.
If he has time, these idiot liberal
Right?
Democrats,
Yeah, that's true too.
Screwing him over up there. So now I want to get you about Georgia's appeal court to hear Trump's bid to disqualify Fani Willis. I'm shocked as hell that they're even letting this go through. But the appeal court agreed to hear former President Trump's bid to disqualify the district attorney prosecuting him over this election interference bullshit. And according to the court on Tuesday, their ruling prolongs the legal battle over former romance between Fani Willis and Nathan Wade, of course. And they fought this from the end, not disqualifying them themselves. And he should have right off the bat because they lied on the stand. But now at least Trump's going to get his day in court to prove to them that she needs to be gone. And she's got all kind of other stuff going on because Fulton County themselves are pressing charges against her and running an investigation on her for this too. And they should, because for taking using taxpayers' money to do stuff, and they should nail her. So, and I hope they do. I hope they nail her to the wall, and we'll see what happens. Now, until when he gets back, but I'm going to go through this next article, and these ones that we're talking about right now was not put into the show, and now I'm going to. Now, this next article I have to watch because we're streaming on certain social media sites that you're not allowed to talk about. So the poison that you guys will know what we're talking about is causing very rare and dangerous side effects. They're pulling it worldwide, not countrywide, the whole world. Now, this is what we've been talking about, and I've been banned from other social media sites. I've been suspended from them for talking about.
Same.
So I've been lifetime banned too. So, but this is stuff that we've talked about, a long time, and we've known it's been going on. And all these liberal idiot Democrats, Joe Biden, Anthony Fauci, the idiot himself, needs to be put in jail for genocide of the American people saying, there was nothing wrong with it. But now it's all coming out, and this is what we're dealing with. But we're not allowed to talk about it, so that's why we got to watch what we say when we talk about this kind of stuff. But let me know your guys' opinion in chat. Have you known this since day one? And will you submit to them if they try to pull this shit again? Let me know in chat. Now, I know you got more stories there, Brendan. What you got next?
Yes, I do. Let me pull them back up here.
And did you notice we switched places?
I did notice. What happened? It's throwing me all off here.
Well, when I went to go get Twitter's chat up, it threw me out, and I had to go back in.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, so, but at least I didn't lose my stuff, so I'm good now. Go ahead.
Okay, so New York City's Rikers Island is prepared if President Donald Trump is ordered to serve time in jail amid his unprecedented trial in Manhattan. New York City Mayor Eric Adams said Tuesday, "Our amazing commissioner is prepared for whatever comes on Rikers Island." Adams told the media Tuesday when asked if Rikers, New York City's largest prison, is prepared if Trump is ordered to jail for violating a gag order imposed during the trial. Adams went on to say, quote, "I'm pretty sure the Department of Corrections commissioners would be prepared to manage the deal with the situation. As you see what's happening with Harvey Weinstein, we have to just know in this business, particularly around law enforcement, we have to adjust whatever comes our way." He continued. Adams went on to say he doesn't want to deal with a hypothetical, but they are professionals that will be ready. Now, I'm telling you, I think that if President Trump is arrested, is ordered to jail, they put handcuffs on him, they put him in an orange jumpsuit and take him to a jail cell, this election is over. Donald Trump will win a landslide victory. You saw the boost he got just from the mugshot in Georgia. Imagine what would happen if they actually put him in a jail cell.
Sure.
This election would be over. People would be so fired up to go vote for this guy, even more than they are now, if that's even possible. I have never seen. Now, granted, I haven't paid attention to politics for, probably only about 10 years to this point. But I've never seen a political candidate that gets more popular with each indictment, each smear campaign that's thrown his way. I mean, just the Access Hollywood tape alone back in 2016 would have sunk most campaigns. And Trump is continuing to get stronger, and especially an indictment of any kind would definitely sink any other campaign. This is something very unique we are seeing, and I'm telling you, everything that would normally sink a campaign is making Trump more popular and stronger politically because people see through the bullshit. They see that this is a persecution. This is election interference, as Trump says all the time. And the American people see this, even the people that aren't necessarily conservatives and don't consider themselves MAGA. They see this for what it is, and there's going to be a lot of people that would not have voted for Donald Trump if they did not go after him the way they are. I think Trump wins in massive numbers, assuming we all do our job and we go out and vote. There is no excuse for not voting this election. We have to be out in full force this election because they're going to try to steal it. But we can make this too big to rig, and that's what we have to do. We have to cancel out the steal, and that we are capable of doing it. If you don't think that it is possible that we can cancel out the steal, I would ask you this one question. Would they be going after Donald Trump to the extent they are right now if they were so confident they could steal this election from him like they did in 2020? And we're getting pulled off YouTube just for that statement alone. Sorry.
No, these people, they're just dirtbags, and this is the only way they know how to win. And Sad to say, but the Republicans need to start stepping up and play their games.
They absolutely do.
So there's nothing else to say about it. You have to do it. We got to start playing their ball, and we're not about the violence. So the Republicans are about law and order, and that was one problem. And that is why whenever they talk about January 6th and Trump, MAGA people were violent that day, they weren't MAGA people. They were freaking Democrat liberal idiots. They were paid by the Democrats to go there and cause trouble. Because do you hear about
Absolutely.
any of them? You hear about any of them actually being arrested and being indicted or whatever, being charged or anything? No. You only hear about the conservative liberals or the conservatives that were caught on camera. They didn't go after everybody else. You don't see their faces planted all over the place. So it's just election interference.
Absolutely.
So now we're going to get into Joe Biden. And he calls illegal aliens or criminals model citizens. Do you believe that bullshit?
Coming from him, yes, actually.
Oh my God, this comes from Breitbart. President Joe Biden declared illegal aliens enrolled and eligible for the worthless racist ex-President Obama's deferred action for childhood arrivals for DACA. Model citizens during a Cinco de Mayo event at the White House. After opening Obamacare rolls to the DACA illegal aliens, Biden said that his ultimate goal is to offer amnesty, get this, not only to those enrolled in DACA, but to all those eligible for Obama-era programs. Under such a plan, millions of illegal aliens would secure a green card and eventually a naturalized American citizenship. But Biden justifies this policy by calling DACA illegal aliens modern citizens akin to Americans. Are you kidding me? This piece of shit just proves time and time again that he doesn't care about American people. And I mean real American citizens. Because all he does is talk about the illegal criminals and what he can give them that has crossed here illegally, and he's just giving them everything they want. That pisses me off. Now, do I need to keep repeating myself about November 5th? I don't think so.
No, and this is the great replacement theory. It doesn't seem like so much of a theory anymore that if you brought up, you were called a crazy conspiracy theorist, but we're seeing this all over the nation, actually. This isn't just limited to the United States, and it's a disaster in every nation that is happening. You'll remember a few months ago, this is probably 5-6 months ago at this point, all the riots happening over in Ireland from illegals over in Ireland. And Ireland has become such a police state. Everybody knows who Conor McGregor is, the UFC fighter and the Irish UFC fighter. He was on Twitter constantly speaking out against this, calling out the Irish government for the way they handled this situation. Conor McGregor was actually arrested for this. And this is what is coming to our doorstep. It's not a conspiracy theory to say that our nation is being destroyed from within and we are living in a police state. The only thing you have to do is look, if it's not obvious enough for you just looking here in the United States, look at other examples around the world. I just saw something that the UK is also struggling with this problem now. They did a study that shows, as if they really needed to study for this, that all these illegals coming into the UK are the most unproductive people in the nation. As if you really needed to study for that, because you see how these people are here. They're living in these fancy hotels for free. They're squatting in people's houses, taking over people's houses. I mean, this is destroying a nation from within. This is the New World Order. This is the globalist movement, and we have to reject it with everything we have. We have to fight back against it with everything we have.
Absolutely. No matter what it takes, this is what we've got to fight against. But now we're going to get into. Oh, let me get down here so I can see this. The Democrat New York Governor Kathy Hochul says young black kids don't know the word computer and what it is. Holy shit. I can't believe she said that.
Man.
Oh, let me get this off here. I'm covering your face.
That's okay.
But she believes that the young black kids growing up in the Bronx don't even know what the word computer is. Now, I want you to watch a short video of her say this exact words herself, and then we're going to get into it after this. So watch this.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges.
Now, this condescension toward black people has got to piss these people off. Now, it's always simmered just beneath the surface of the Democrat Party, the party that fought a civil war to hold on to their slaves, and then created the Ku Klux Klan, Jim Crow, and segregation. But earlier this month, it bubbled and then burst into the surface through vocal, ignorant, and racist mouth of Kathy Hochul. Now, the Democrat Party seems to do this quite often. You know, first, when they talk about voter IDs and how black people aren't able to get an ID card. Because, why? Because they're black? I don't know, but that sounds like a little bullshit to me, but what the hell's up with that? But then remember when Joe Biden was campaigning and he said, "You're not black if you don't vote for me." What? Joe Biden is the most racist son of a bitch out there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And he tries to spin it like he's not. Now, it's you. I don't know about the computer, because if you don't know, or do you not know about computers because you're black? Let me know in chat if there's anybody on here. Because this is just unreal. How do you guys put up with this bullshit because you voted for it, or somebody voted for it to keep this idiotic racist Democrat in power? Now, can anyone in chat explain that to me? Because I'm lost. A party of racism, and they dominate the black vote in the past, and that makes no sense to me. So if anybody in chat can explain to me, please leave a comment, because I don't know what the hell's going on in New York. They must be stupid or glutton for punishment, something.
Yeah, I think you're going to start seeing a shift, and we're already starting to see that a little bit. Trump is doing very well with black and non-white voters, and this is precisely the reason why, because the Democrats are the party of racism. As you said, this is the party of the KKK and Jim Crow law. And the Democrat Party really is a modern day plantation. And I think just some black voters don't necessarily, they just, I don't know what it is. I don't know how you could be black and vote Democrat at this point, but you're going to see many black Americans move away from the Democrat Party because they're tired of being talked down to. I mean, just listen at the way that Democrats always talk about black people. They make them sound like they're the dumbest, most unintelligent people in the country.
No
and that's
kidding.
not the case. I mean, who the hell is above 18 years old and does not have an ID? You don't have a DMV in your neighborhood. You could go get an ID. Of course they could go get an ID, and of course they know what computers are. It's just ridiculous.
Oh, according to them, black people probably don't know how to drive.
Yeah.
They don't know how to open their front door to go outside. So
yeah, apparently not.
Yeah, the Democrats, they have to let us know this stuff, because we're kind of confused when we see somebody black driving down the road. Because
that does always puzzle me when I see that.
Yeah, thank you, Democrat Party. for sharing this and making us aware of this, because they just can't do what we do because their color of their skin is different.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
yeah, but like I said before, I've used examples of this before. Whatever the Democrats accuse the Republicans of doing is what they're guilty of doing themselves. They say that
Yep.
we're the racist party, that we hate everybody that's not white. That's really them. I mean, I think I brought this up before in one of our previous shows. There was a study done. This is probably maybe a couple months ago. I forget what school it was, but it was one of these prestigious schools, one of these Ivy League schools. And they wanted to do a study to see how liberal white people talk to minorities versus conservative white people. And what they found in this study was that the liberal white people really dumbed down their vocabulary when talking to a black or minority person. And
Seriously?
conservative white people didn't do that. That just shows you the liberal mentality when it comes to minorities. They are the true white supremacists. They think that every race is below the white race, and they won't admit the fact that that they're racist. So they'll turn around and call us racist to make them feel better, when in reality they're actually the racist, because that is the only party that ever brings up race. When do the Republicans ever bring up race?
When the
Almost
Democrats say
never.
something.
Yeah, exactly. It's just we shouldn't be treating anybody different just because they're a different color. It's just stupid.
Oh, it's ridiculous. But I want to welcome our new streaming uh, site, Wimpkin, and everybody on there. I got it screwed up yesterday, and I went on after we were done with our show.
Damn it, Charlie.
Yes, I know. After we got done at 10 o'clock, I went on there and I did a show for him again, the same show, because I felt bad because I screwed up and didn't go live on there like I should have. But I want to welcome Wimpkin to our stream now. Now we're streaming at 7 different places at the same time. And we're hoping to pick up more people and to get the truth out to more people. So thank you guys on Wimpkin for coming in and joining us tonight. And hopefully we'll continue to do this for a long time and get the truth out to everybody. So don't you have another article or something you were?
I do have one other one. Yeah,
Go
we
ahead.
could go over.
Go ahead.
Okay. Where the hell was it? Okay, here it is. Okay, this is from Fox News. Key Biden agencies slapped with historic subpoenas over improper swing state voter registration push. The House Committee on Small Business subpoenaed the Small Business Administration on Tuesday over what it says is a lack of transparency on alleged efforts by the Biden administration, I prefer to call them a regime, to funnel resources to a key swing state to register voters in a move they say could be unconstitutional. On Tuesday, the committee subpoenaed SBA Chief of Staff Arthur Plews and his special advisor Tyler Robinson after they are said to have been no-shows at scheduled transcribed interviews with the committee and failed to turn over documents related to a program that is allegedly diverting its resources away from assisting at Main Street so it can register Democrat voters in the key swing state of Michigan. The committee says this action represents the first time in history that it has subpoenaed the agency. In a press release, SBA Administrator Isabel Guzman said the partnership will help connect Michiganders to vital voter registration informed from the state of Michigan so that more small business owners can exercise their right to vote. The coordination between the SBA and Michigan was sparked by a 2021 executive order from Biden directing federal agencies to promote access to voting, which raised concerns from some that the administration is using the government agency to register votes in a swing state that many believe will be one of the states the November election hinges on.
Well, you know what? The Biden administration is just stealing stuff from everybody because he runs the place. He just thinks he can do what he wants with the money and doesn't have to answer to anybody. But it's probably not Joe Biden because he's a demented old fool.
No.
Women feel it, piece of shit plagiarist.
Pants shitting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Shit. Oh man, I wanted to do that. Somebody did a
Did-
video on Twitter. Did you see it?
I just saw the one that's going around where it does look like he's
No,
shitting
they
his
put
pants.
somebody actually dropped the shit dropping from his.
Oh
Oh,
no, I
it was freaking
didn't
great.
see that.
I wanted to download it and bring it on to show people tonight, but I also forgot. I wanted to mention. I caught the last about half hour of a show on Wimpkin called The American Rebellion. Nice guy. Seems like a great guy. Seems like a good conservative. If you're on Wimpkin, if you have a Wimpkin account, go check his show out. I think he said Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. I think he's on there for an hour and a half, 2 hours, he said. I did catch the last half hour as I was setting up for our show today, and I might be trying to go on his show with him and as a guest star or guest host or guest star. What do you call him? Just a guest?
I guess. I mean, if you're only doing it once and it's not
Yeah.
consistent, then yeah, probably a guest.
Yeah.
Well,
What do they call it?
what do you consider me? I don't know.
You're a co-host.
Okay.
It's our show, so when you're here, and then it's my show when I'm here by myself. But you were here every day this week. It's been great.
This later push really helped us here. So
Yes. So okay, we're going to get into a story here that kind of screwed me up because I don't like Nancy Pelosi one bit. But I'm going to cover up Brendan's face here real quick. But
that's
now
okay.
we're going to get into another piece of shit, Democrat Nancy Pelosi. Now, for some reason, Nancy Pelosi wants to back Mike Johnson for Speaker. And this also comes from Breitbart News. But first off, this is only a 35-second video. I want you to take a look at this as her saying it herself. And then we're going to come back and talk about this because this is something fishy about this.
Madam Speaker, how are you? Good. Good to see you. Do you support Leader Jeffries' move to support the Speaker, the current Speaker, on the motion to table?
I support our leader. I think he's very much in touch with our caucus, and yes, I will support him.
What does this say about Speaker Johnson if he has to turn to the minority party to survive?
He doesn't have to turn to minorities. What the minority party is saying is we support the integrity of the House of Representatives, and we will not let it be littered by nonsense.
Now, doesn't that seem a little bit fishy? Because there's no way she honestly is backing a Republican to keep Mike Johnson in the House as the Speaker, unless this is all a plan from the get-go. And maybe it's just to piss off the Republicans even more, like Marjorie Taylor Greene. So they push getting Mike Johnson out so the Democrats can throw Hakeem Jeffries in, that little weasel in there as Speaker. And I can't think of any other reason why Nancy Pelosi would do something like this. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think it's fishy at all. Actually, I think it's I think it's actually kind of obvious what's going on here. I mean, this is the uniparty, like we say. This is not Republican versus Democrat anymore. You think about this: Mike Johnson has stabbed the Republicans in the back every opportunity he has gotten. You know, Hakeem Jeffries even said he was on 60 Minutes one day this week. I forget what day it was, but he even said that the Democrats are governing like they are in the majority rather than the minority, because Johnson is giving the Democrats every single thing that they want. Hakeem Jeffries basically is Speaker of the House currently, and you had many Democrats. This was not just Republicans that saved Johnson today on the motion to vacate. There were a lot of Democrats that saved Johnson because the Democrats love Mike Johnson. They want him to be Speaker because he's given them every single thing that they want. I mean, why would you remove him if he's controlled opposition and he's given you every single thing you want? And that's why I know you and me differed on this, Charlie. Right. But that's why I was in favor of vacating the chair, because Hakeem Jeffries is already essentially Speaker of the House. And I fear that if we continue on the path that we are currently on, it's going to cost us the election, and we're going to lose the House, and the Democrats are going to retain the Senate. That's why I was in favor of this. I understand your argument, Charlie, the aspect that it could backfire and Hakeem Jeffries could get the gavel. But I really don't think much different will be happening with Hakeem Jeffries than what's been happening with Mike Johnson. I mean, we essentially have Nancy Pelosi as Speaker again with Mike Johnson.
Not really, because if Hakeem Jeffries takes over, that makes the Democrats a majority.
Right.
Then they can do what the hell they want. They'll pass bills. They'll cause spending, and Republicans will have no fight whatsoever if they actually take over as majority.
Yeah, that is true. But let me ask you this: what do you think is the way out of this? Because I really believe that if they just continue on this path that we're on, I think they lose this election. I really do.
I don't think what's going on in the House is going to matter as far as the election goes, but we just have to hold off until November. That's all it is. I mean, we have to hold off and we have to push. That's why you and I are doing this, so we win this election. But that's the only thing we can't afford to lose the majority right now. And
right. I just hope it doesn't call. Yeah. Go ahead.
If they vacate him and he decides to quit and go switch over, we're done.
Yeah, that is true. But I just, like I said,
I have no problem with them vacating him because of what you said. I don't have a problem, and I agree with you on that. But I just don't want to see it done now.
Right. Yeah, I understand that argument. I hope it doesn't. That's my fear with this whole thing with keeping him in there is the fact that it could possibly cost us. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully, I really hope you're right and I'm wrong on this, but that's how I'm seeing it right now.
Yeah, we just got to pray we can keep it and keep the majority until then, because here I got another one for you. A swing state Republican won't vote for Trump, and he backs Biden for being a decent person. Believe this shit? This just makes me fall over laughing. How can a kid-sniffing, woman-feeling, plagiarizing, racist, mashed potato for brains, demented old fool that can't remember what day it is or read off a teleprompter like me be called a decent guy? I just don't get it. This Geoff Duncan, the Republican former lieutenant governor of the swing state of Georgia, an anti-Trump Republican, or better known as a rhino Republican, say that they don't necessarily agree with Biden or what the president has spent his life promoting, but he respects the norms. What has been the norm for anything that this Biden administration has done for the 3.5 years, almost 4 years that they've been in here? They've tried to change everything that is normal in our country and that has been working for hundreds of years. There's nothing normal about these idiots.
No,
so
not
what
at
the
all.
hell? How the hell can you call Joe Biden a decent man?
No, they don't actually believe it. They just, I mean, this isn't a surprise. I mean, it's the uniparty, as I said again. This is the rhinos are the ones that hate Trump the most. They want him to go away. So of course they're going to say whatever to make Joe Biden look more favorably. People in Georgia, I can promise you, are not going to buy it because there are people even in Atlanta, especially in Atlanta, Georgia, that are paying for Miss Piggy's case, Fannie Willis, that are beyond pissed off about this case, and they're starting to come to Trump's side. People in Georgia aren't going to buy this, and it's just that this is desperation. What we're seeing right now, they're trying to think of any way they can to get rid of Trump, and it's not working. And I'm telling you that, like we talked about Trump's campaign strategy before, just popping up in random places. Whenever he's able to travel a little more, Atlanta, Georgia would be one of the first places I would be going.
Oh, no doubt.
That would be a big move.
And they have to do something with her. And this is why if people don't wake up, this is going to be the end of America as we know it. And
absolutely.
This is totally ridiculous. But now let's get into a little bit of Trump here with Stormy Daniels. She testified in the hush money trial, and Daniels for $130,000 to keep her mouth shut about what she says was a sexual encounter with Trump in 2006. Now I'm going to let you watch this video, about a minute 51 seconds long. This is about Stormy Whore Daniels testifying in this case. So take a look at this.
Well, the woman at the center of Donald Trump's criminal trial in New York took the witness stand Tuesday. Michael George has more on the key testimony.
Former President Donald Trump's attorney asked for a mistrial, calling Tuesday's testimony from adult film star Stormy Daniels extraordinarily prejudicial. The judge denied the request, but did agree some things were better left unsaid. Daniels recalled meeting the former president in his hotel suite in Lake Tahoe in 2006. She testified they spoke for 2 hours, including a mention of Melania Trump. And Daniels said when she came out of the bathroom, the former president was on the bed wearing boxers and a T-shirt. She told the court they ultimately had sex, and she took a cab back to her hotel, telling very few people what had happened.
A few things the prosecution has brought out is that he never asked her to keep quiet about this. He never asked her to keep it from his wife, and these are things that the defense will want to raise later.
Trump denies the alleged encounter.
The prosecution has to establish that the former president had an incentive to cover up these payments to Stormy Daniels, to make the payments and cover it up. And in order to do that, the prosecution has to show that she would have been a compelling figure had she told this story right before the election.
On the stand, Daniels detailed the financial arrangement, testifying she signed a contract in exchange for her silence, and the $130,000 payment was late. Earlier, Trump called the criminal trial unfair and said there's no smoking gun.
That's what they're trying to get us on, the fact that we call a legal expense a legal expense.
Trump also railed against the judge's gag order on his way into court, calling it unconstitutional, but made no mention of Daniels by name. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Now she goes on the stand and lies, and her testimony didn't even match her original testimony. Nothing she said proved anything about the affair, but anybody can sit up there and say something the whole time, but doesn't make it true. But this plan is, I think it was a Democrat plan to hire this slutty actress, and a bad one at that, to make up a story just to get what they want, and that is Trump not to be president of the United States again. And this piece of shit judge is another puppet for the Democrat Party. Now, I just don't get it. Because she lied, and because she originally testified that they never had sex. So, which one is it? Because she testified before in the hearing about this when she had what's-his-face that went to prison.
Yeah, the creepy porn lawyer.
Yeah.
That Michael Avenatti.
Yeah, she had him when they were going through all this before, and she testified there was no sex. They did not have a relationship. They did not have an affair. So they're going to use her as a witness with that convicted liar, his attorney. So
yeah,
this case just stinks to all high heaven. And
yeah, good. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just going to say that Trump's every one of these cases are blowing apart, and there's proof there, but this judge keeps allowing this shit to happen and denies a mistrial over lies.
Yeah.
And he knows they're lies.
Yeah, they absolutely are. I actually heard that Stormy Daniels was disappointed after she was done testifying. She heard a possibility of the judge might gag her. She thought that meant something else, but sorry. But this whole case has just been stupid, like every other case. I mean, what they're accusing Trump of doing is misfiling paperwork. We all know that's a lie, but why do they even have to interview her and have her testify? I mean, does anybody really care if they had an affair? Did they have an affair? I don't know. Honestly, I don't care. What is that's not my life. So and Trump probably did if the affair did happen. Like I said, I don't know one way or the other. I don't really care, but let's just say that he did. It's not far-fetched to think that he would have paid her hush money, which is not illegal,
right,
to keep quiet about the affair because he didn't want his family to find out, and especially when he was running for office, he didn't want that story coming to the media. So I really fail to see what the crime is here, why this is such breaking news. Like it was such breaking news on every fake news outlet that Stormy Daniels was testifying. What does it matter? Why do we need to listen to some broad who's been on more hotel pillows than a chocolate mint and take her word at value? I mean, it's ridiculous. Who cares if they had an affair?
Right.
Who cares? What does that have to do with him being president? Not a damn thing.
No, but it's okay for Bill Clinton to get a hum and in the White House, and she keeps his dress with stuff on it for all those years. Didn't have it washed. Do I hear set up from the get go? But nothing gets done about that, and it's okay. Bill Clinton's a hero.
But this was back in 2006, supposedly, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
So right. This is long before, and just about every president has cheated on their wife. Just about every one of them have. I don't have a problem with Bill Clinton doing what he did. I think it was kind of disrespectful to do it in the Oval Office.
But Obama. Obama cheated on he cheated on her husband.
Oh.
True. On his husband.
But it's just who cares? You're not. Just about every politician has done this, and especially somebody like Donald Trump, as powerful as he was in New York City, and all the money he had. It's not far-fetched to say that this may have happened. I'm not saying it's right, but at the end of the day, who really cares? This is just a big waste of time for the media. This is all deflection.
It is, but now we're talking about the piece of shit judge. Judge denies Trump's attorney's motion to mistrial over Stormy Daniels' testimony. Argued that the court set a guide rails and Daniels' testimony went over them. Judge Merchan denied President Trump's attorney's request for a mistrial over the testimony of persecution of Stormy Daniels in the hush money trial. But I've got a short video of here, judge denying the mistrial. So, yeah, it's a real short one, 36 seconds. Take a look at this.
We turn now to Donald Trump's hush money trial, and it entered in an uncomfortable stage today when adult film star Stormy Daniels took the stand.
Yeah, Daniels is currently being cross-examined, and it is already off to a very combative start with Trump's attorney questioning Daniels' credibility.
Earlier today, she testified how the hush money payment was negotiated, the terms of her non-disclosure agreement, and it included graphic details of her alleged sexual encounter with Trump in 2006.
Meanwhile, the judge in this case denied a motion for a mistrial from the defense, who tried to argue that Daniels' testimony went too far.
Now, according to the judge, as a threshold matter, I agree, Mr. Blanche, and this is what the judge is telling Trump's attorney, that there were some things that probably would have been better left unsaid, Judge Merchan said. Having said that, I don't believe we're at a point where a mistrial is warranted, he said. Now, every one of these hearings and indictments they have put Trump through is nothing but election interference. And no matter how much evidence they show that these things should be dismissed, because they don't show any evidence of a crime, none of them. They're going to continue this until the election. They're trying to keep him off the campaign trail in hopes that people will not vote for him. And that's why we are here, to make sure no one forgets to vote for him. We have to get this country back. We cannot lose this country because of a corrupt Democrats and demented Joe Biden. We will continue this fight up until and after the November 5th election, no matter what happens. So you guys better stick around with us and help us in this fight to save America.
Absolutely. And you're right. All these cases are performative. They're all just trying to smear Trump's name, hope that enough gullible people go out and vote against him. But I think this has really backfired, this whole strategy by the deep state to bring all these bogus charges against Trump for the reasons I said earlier. People see right through this, what this really is, that this is political persecution, and it's motivating more and more people to come on our side, come on the MAGA side, and support Trump. I'm telling you, if we all do our job on election night, Trump is going to win in massive numbers if we do our job.
Well, that's where we'll get into this. Here, let me roll up here a little bit. And because the numbers for the Pennsylvania polls came in, and all these polls are coming in like you wouldn't believe, and Trump's winning big time. So this is from Newsbreak, from the Immersion polling number. Now, new poll numbers for the Immersion College and the Hill just showed trouble for Joe Biden. Trump leads in all 7 battleground states now. Not by only 6, but now all 7 of them. But not by a lot, within a 3% margin of error. Now, if these numbers hold, Trump will be the next president. Now, remember, we take these polls with a grain of salt because a lot of these polls, only like 1,000 people, maybe 1,500 at the most, are being polled for this. And so that's definitely not a big percentage that we can count on. If any of you guys out there are watching have any kind of polls that we're not seeing, please bring them up in chat so we can see them. And we can let other people know.
Yeah, one thing I will say to people watching, take polls for what they are. They're just polls, nothing more. So do not get comfortable with the fact that Trump is leading in many polls. We still have to be motivated to go out and vote and get others to vote. We need to approach this like we are 10 points down in every single poll. We cannot get comfortable like we did during this past midterm where everybody was saying there was going to be a red wave, and it was more of a red ripple. Nothing happened, so we screwed up in the midterm. We cannot do that this time. So like I said, I'd rather Trump be up in polls than be down. But at the same time, we need to attack this like he is 10 points down in every single poll. We cannot get comfortable.
No, absolutely not, because this is why, and we haven't been covering a lot of the primaries because it's been single states and they're really late, and so we haven't been doing that. So,
and it's all window dressing to this point anyway. So
it is, and the numbers matter to show how many people are getting out
right
and voting. But
absolutely,
the main important one is November. And that is what really matters in this, is we have to get everybody out, and we can't let up. Like Brendan said, we have to get people out to vote, and we've got to keep this going. I mean, there's not another way around it.
Nope. Because like me and Charlie say all the time, this is the most important election in our nation's history. We cannot be lazy this election because, quite frankly, we were lazy in the midterm and it cost us. We can't afford to do that this time. If we lose this election or we allow them to steal this election from us, which is more likely, which is the more likely path to keeping Trump out of the White House, because I don't think anybody would vote for Biden. But if we allow this to be stolen again just because we were lazy, we have absolutely no reason to bitch about anything that's going on in this nation. We reap what we sow at that point.
Right. And we see everything that's going on around this country, especially with these idiot kids. And if I can remember right, was it today? Oh, yeah, it was today on Windy Bell. I was watching about these college kids doing the protest still, and they're the ones that are on the hunger strike. And I don't know if you got a glimpse of this or not, but
I didn't. You said hunger strike?
Oh yeah, they're starving
Oh,
themselves now.
I hope they all starve. I
And you know
really
what?
do.
And you know what? They're starving themselves until their demands are met. Oh yeah, over Gaza, over terrorists. Okay, and
Jeez.
they interviewed this girl, and she said that people were telling them that they sent people there to track their health and watch them while they're doing this hunger strike. And it's like, and she was sitting there saying, they're not watching our health. They're not caring about us not starving. It's like, why the hell would you? You choose to do a hunger strike. The college is not responsible for you when you're doing this kind of stuff. And they think that the college is that should send a doctor out to them and monitor their health while they're doing this hunger strike. And she actually said this on Wendy Bell Radio I watched this morning.
I believe it. Oh God.
I couldn't believe it. My jaw broke open. I'm sitting there talking to myself because I'm on my way to Morgantown driving, and they're talking about this shit. And it's like they're supposed to care if you're hunger strike. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, apparently you don't have to be that smart to get into college anymore. I mean, like you said, they voluntarily did this. You could leave at any time. You could go to McDonald's and get a Big Mac anytime you want. Like nobody's forcing you to starve yourself.
But she looked like she had a few Big Macs.
Was it Lizzo? Hey, was it Lizzo? Was it Lizzo?
Oh, it might have been. I think she was good at least 2-3 weeks without starving. I mean, she's good. Yeah, she's good. So, all right, guys, thank you for tuning in for the Conservative Viewpoint. Whether you're a seasoned conservative or just dipping your toes into the deep waters of political discourse, it's an honor to have you here. As we wrap up today's episode, let's leave you with this thought. In a world with opinions clash and ideologies collide, remember that dialogue is our greatest weapon. So join us again tomorrow night as we continue to dissect these issues. Challenge the status quo, champions conservative values, because that conservative viewpoint, we believe that informed conversation leads to meaningful change. And don't forget to subscribe, share, and engage in us on the social media sites, all the ones we tell you about, Twitter, Rumble, Facebook, any of them. If you can find us on there, make sure you sign up, follow us, share, like, everything. And till next time, which is tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, same time, same bat channel. Stay informed, stay engaged, and stay conservative. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.